What's next in the Maleah Davis's case? Coming up. They have a new court order looking into Darion Vince phone records, at least from the 30th of April until the day he was arrested for tampering with a corpse. The chief of police has released another statement on Darion Vince and those who may be involved, and also their phone records. Chief of Police has stated that charges will be brought against those who are involved with Maleah Davis's death, those who helped to cover it up. He also says, as we know, this is an ongoing investigation and there are gag orders in place as they gather evidence on who is responsible. Now, Vince says, like I said, she never suffered. Maleah Davis never suffered. I don't know really what he means by that. Sure, she suffered. Well, we'd like to know. The most important part of this is what happened. How did she die? And why did you dump her body in such a disgusting way in another state and dumped her like an animal? You dumped her like an animal. You just tossed her away. And you said you would never hurt Maleah. You love her so much like your own. You would never do anything to hurt Maleah Davis. But in fact, you did. And you covered it up. You went out of your way. You went to another state. You put her in a black plastic bag. You left her body to rot alongside a dark roadway, all by herself. And you never said that you would hurt her or make her suffer. Well, the whole world was looking for her. You said you wouldn't never harm her. You love her so much. Yet, the police, the detectives, all different agencies were looking for her. Presumed kidnapped. All along, you knew where she was on that lonely stretch of highway in the darkness, amongst bushes, amongst other animals, so she could be eaten or God knows what. 1 month later, she was found. 1 month later. And she's not in good shape. Her dead body is not in good shape. It's disgusting. Now, you loved her? Think about it. Is that love? You said that you would never harm this child. Brittany said, and you said that Maleah was hurt one time, and you were asked to take her to the hospital, and you said you are not taking the fall for this one. You are not taking the fall for this one. What do you mean? No, Maleah Davis is dead. Brittany is talking. Now, we don't know which part's the truth here, because she has made statements, lack of statements, lack of emotion. She don't know what went wrong. She don't know what went wrong. You are the one being accused of the murder at this time. You are the one in jail at this time. But charges are pending. They are gathering their evidence, and they are going to make a case, and they're going to bring to justice those involved, no matter how small. No matter how small. If you knew anything but didn't come forth, if you helped drive that car around the city and drop it off at that strip mall, you're involved. If you dropped him off at the hospital, you're involved. Now, they are looking into phone records. So, if you text, if you voicemail, whatever they can get, your name comes up, the time scale, activities, what the hell was going on around that time, you are going to be involved. And you're going to be questioned. Now, Brittany has been on the news again. She did that interview on a news channel, and then after that, Vince does a interview, and then somebody else does an interview. Brittany was trying to be so convincing. This was her comeback. It seems like she's on her own. She's going to defend herself against allegations. And what did we hear? Well, not a lot. She had a few tears, but she had to force them out of her eyes during the interview. That's what it seemed like. But she had no compassion. She didn't even know what to say about her daughter. She didn't have a lot to say about her. All she said, we're going to bring them to justice, whoever's involved. She don't know what happened. She's not naming names. She doesn't even call Darian Vince a killer, a murderer, a sick man. She is not doing all that right now. Maybe she has to watch what she says. I don't know. But a grieving mother wouldn't care less what the hell she said about him. No, a grieving mother would pour her heart out. A grieving mother wouldn't be able to speak hardly. Her voice would be shaky. Tears would be pouring out all the time. But she sits there calm and was asked about little things about her daughter, not even big things, just little things. And she could hardly say she loved her daughter, how much she loved her daughter. Her daughter was sent to her by God. And she also said, I used to tell Maleah, you are, more or less so precious because you are my daughter. You're my only daughter. Yeah, that says a lot. One minute you're trying to say you love your daughter, but you're also making sure you tell her she's the only daughter. That's why you love her this way. Whatever way it is. Whatever love you gave her. Because you didn't have another daughter. So that made her feel so special, did it? Okay, those are your words to explain how much you love your daughter. You told her how much you love her because she was your only daughter. And she said, it's all about Maleah. She doesn't care what the public says. Her daughter should be put in the spotlight. Should be put in the spotlight? I think your daughter's been in the spotlight since the day she went missing. Since the day she been involved in the CPS. Since the day the courts were involved, she's been in the spotlight. And who was accused of putting her in that spotlight? You. As the mother. And we're talking about you as the mother. Because the courts and the doctors, the CPS, were very suspicious. Now, they don't try to jump on every case of child abuse because things do happen to children. But when the CPS and the courts and the doctors start talking, there's something not right. There's something not right. But they couldn't prove it because lying parents. Now, you're the mother. You had primary custody of these children, and the bio father would visit. Now, we're not saying he's involved in absolutely everything that's gone on with Maleah or the other son, the oldest son. We're not saying he's involved with absolutely everything, but he is the parent. And he also should have took charge of when he see or thought his child was being abused. Now, they say he was trying to get his daughter back. But you see, once something happens, and something happens in your care, you have to prove yourself fit. And it takes time to prove yourself fit. Now, since the kids came back in the mother's care and the father had visitation, it doesn't seem like the children were hurt in his care. They only got hurt in your care. Yes. So he may be off the hook for some that's gone on in his daughter's life. But he could have tried harder, and that's the only answer we have. He could have tried harder. If he thought if something's not right, maybe he should have acted on it. But now he will. Now he has learned, and he will act on any abuse, we hope, in the future. And it's going to be very hard to trust anybody. Now, I don't know what's wrong with the bio dad, but when he made that Facebook Live, he said that he doesn't go out. He seems to got himself isolated. I don't know. Maybe he's suffering from something and he's depressed, because he said so, more or less. And he also said he's not looking for his daughter because he already knows. Because he already knows. No, that came out of his mouth. He already knows? What does he know? This makes us think he knew something was not right and didn't act on it. If he did, he may have got them children back in his care. And Brittany had visitation. Oh yeah, he could have turned the table. Now, on the 9th of June, Sunday, Houston, Texas, has made this day a Maleah Davis Day in honor of this little angel. Yes, guys. She is in the spotlight. She's going to be in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. But as in death, they are never going to forget this little girl that was dumped along a roadside like an animal because she was so loved. That's not love. Number one, we don't know what happened to Maleah yet. We may never know her cause of death yet. We may never know unless Darian speaks. He said she didn't suffer. So, did she go into her room, fall asleep and never wake up? But she didn't call 911. So guys, stay tuned for upcoming dates, court dates. There is one in July. Also, Darian Vince has been ordered to take a psychoval. Yeah. And probably the reason why is because of his statements, probably. She didn't suffer. I didn't hurt her. And also he made a statement that he was not eating or sleeping and stuff like that. So, is he on a hunger strike? We don't know. He's not eating and he's not sleeping. Statements like that will get you a psychoval. So perhaps that's why. But we need him to come clean, which he also said he doesn't like being hated. He don't like being hated on from the public. Oh my goodness. Well, you're the one that took her body out of the home and took her to another state. Or did he? We'll find out. Stay tuned. And like I said earlier, the 9th of June will be Maleah Davis's day. Houston is going to celebrate her life the way she deserves, the way she did deserve to be treated with dignity. And thank you for stopping by.